Hello! Recently, in political statements, comparisons between the Republic of Armenia's relations with other states and marriage or family have become frequent. I don't think this is a relevant comparison, but since the topic is trending, let's try and analyze it in perspective of project management. Before we begin, a few clarifications are necessary. The main proponents of this analogy present themselves as forces and individuals upholding conservative and Christian values. Do they realize that when they refer to the state or motherland, then in any case marriages, partnerships, or families within this analogy end up being same-sex? If they assume that family must necessarily be a union between a man and a woman, what role do they envision for the Republic of Armenia? Is the husband or the wife, especially when they talk about divorcing Russia and marrying the European Union? How do they justify this to themselves, their supporters, and most intriguingly, to their spouses in private conversations? Do those who advocate for classical monogamy believe that Armenia should only maintain relations with one state? When they perceive Armenia's relations with the Eurasian Economic Union or the Commonwealth of Independent States as a marriage, does this imply a family structure with grandparents, parents, sons, and daughters, or rather a collective cohabitation? And again, what role do they assign to Armenia in this scenario? Although I'm also a gender studies expert, I believe this matter falls within the domain of psychology. Therefore, I invite professionals in that field, both those I know and those I don't, to analyze this topic. Now, to keep our analysis focused, let's see aside moral, legal, gender, and psychological considerations and approach the issue purely from a logical and pragmatic standpoint, considering all parties as partners, friends, companions, spouses, or however you prefer to define them. Let's look at recent history without delving too far back. Over the past 200 years, from the Treaty of Gulistan-Turkmenchay to 1915, 1920, 1937, or 41 and 45, October 27, September 3rd, November 9th, or the September of 1923, these all are tragedies for Armenia. Throughout this entire process, Armenia has been in a relationship with a single partner who has continuously deceived, shattered, humiliated, and subjected to the whims of others. I've written a book about 1920s, Farewell to Illusions. So those who are willing to spend about $3 can buy it in Noyan Tapan publishing or online. The link is below. Now let's address the deep side with Shakespearean drama and the best editions of Stockholm Syndrome. Is Armenia weighted in this prosperous community? Will things go better with them? Do we calculate all the risks? Following the marriage logic, isn't it clear that whether we are weighted or not, we simply do not want to live with this deceitful abuser any longer? Divorce is not a matter of good or bad. It is the only rational solution. By the way, 3+3 is a scam. It's not a 3-on-3 dating. It's an attempt of a gang rape. Sorry. If we look at this as multi-project management or program management, we are dealing with complex challenges. Limited resources, time, energy, finances, multiple stakeholders, partners, children, families, potential conflicts and clashes of interest, high risk due to project interdependencies. Key resources in this project include time. Is the schedule manageable? Finance. Is the budget sufficient for 2 or more families? Emotional capacity. Can a person commit to multiple projects with equal dedication? In such projects, the main risks are stakeholder conflict when relationships are exposed or when interests collide, resource overload, lack of time, money, or attention, change management failure when a new relationship does not integrate with all other ones. SWOT analysis. Should one manage more than one project? Methods for managing multiple projects simultaneously. If we approach this from a project management perspective, several methodologies can be applied. Agile suggests that the project should be managed in a changing environment. If you have multiple projects, regularly assess the situation, manage resources flexibly, coordinate relationships using Kanban or Scrum. Best tool, Scrum and time boxing. Set up a meeting schedule, stand-up meetings, use Kanban or Trello to track project progress. If relationships are seen as multi-phase projects, it's crucial to determine which path is the most critical and cannot be delayed. Does the primary project hinder the new one? Are there dependencies preventing parallel management? When dealing with multiple stakeholders, it is important to clearly define stakeholder expectations. Avoid being a bottleneck and feeling overwhelmed. Best tool is RACI metrics. Who has what expectations, who provides what resources, who influences the project. Stakeholder management. How will stakeholders, friends, family, workplace react? Risk assessment. Will the new project harm existing ones? Change management. How to adapt to the new situation. Key takeaways for risk reduction. Backlog prioritization. Revisiting priorities. Time buffering. Creating the buffers to avoid project overlap. And conclusion. Does managing multiple projects align with PMBOK rules? Possible, but it requires strict strategic planning. Highly risky with complicated stakeholder management. Key tools: agile stakeholder mapping, risk management, time boxing. And what do you think? Is relationship management possible through project management principles? Share your thoughts in comments, like and subscribe. Reminder, I'm not a prime minister. I cannot and I do not want to be one. I'm a project manager and perhaps my insights may be useful for you. Cheers!